Like me, are you also fed up of having to print so much stuff off every day? I mean, I've got maths problems here, I've got challenges, I've got vocab sheets, I've got grammar sheets, I've got mental maths test papers that I've printed off, and that's just a daily basis. Plus, I'm gonna have to cut all of these up in a second to make sure that they're suitable for the children's books. Well, if you are like me, I am going to try my best in this video to break down some of the non-paper resources that I use with my children. This could be things that you can put on your whiteboard. This could be things that the children use a device for. My school has recently gone to a bring your own device system, so the children have brought in their own iPads. And so having a device on them means that a lot of the work that I would normally print off, I could just upload to their device. It makes a lot of sense in many ways. Firstly, you are saving the trees, but not only that, it means that you can challenge different children at different times during your lesson. So in this video, I'm going to talk through some of the technologies that I implement within my class that hopefully you could too, to prevent you from printing so much stuff, save you some time, and actually engage your children more effectively. But first, I am going to have to cut these sheets up. So the first thing you can do is you can organize your materials so that anything that the children can do directly into their books, they do. Now, I personally use Flipchart. I think Flipchart is great. You have all of the tools down the side, like the annotation. You can choose highlighter function, pen function. You can get the kids to come up. Whiteboard work is also brilliant. And if needs be, you can always take pictures of the children's work. So here we're looking at how we can work through different correspondence questions. So the children had the options on the board. I spoke about it. We looked at the different combinations, and then the children had their whiteboards and they had to work out what the answer was. Now this could work in every lesson. You could get it for English, where you put up an example of an expanded noun phrase used within a sentence. The children could either then do it in their books or they could write it down on their whiteboards. And as long as the children have written down their learning objective, anything that goes into that page and into that book will be associated with that learning objective. So you can follow along with it. And from a teaching and learning standpoint, all of the resources, the PowerPoints, the flip charts will be on your drive. So if anyone questions how the children have engaged, you can compare what's gone into their books with what's on the drive. Now, there are some limitations to just using the whiteboard. Biggest one that I can think of is that the children might get distracted, and for those children that are a little bit confused, they have a tendency to wander up towards the board. And the last thing you want is 20 to 30 children all gathered around the same board trying to figure out the answer. It's just a bit of a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. What you can do instead, especially if the children have access to devices, either because you have them in your school or because they've got their own device with them and you work a bring your own device kind of system at your school, you can set them work on various apps. Now, we use Microsoft, so I can use Microsoft Teams and I can upload photos, videos, worksheets directly to Microsoft Teams. The children can either do it straight in their books and use their iPads as a second screen, or they can do it onto the iPad and they can upload it. There is also Seesaw, which I personally really like because you can annotate, you can talk, you can write and draw and all sorts on the children's work. They can respond to it. You can put up videos, you can put up all sorts. It's a really good site. So these are a couple of options for you as well that enabled children to be able to use their devices to get stuck straight into their work. So this here is Teams. Now, Teams is a fantastic site that you can use. Now, down the side here, you've got various things. You can make calls, you can chat with different people, set assignments, you've got calendar things going on here. And here, where it says Teams, you can create effectively different classrooms. Now, within this one that I've set up recently, you then have posts, files, classwork, assignments, grades, all sorts of different things that you can use. For posts, if you've recently uploaded something or you want the children to do some homework, you can put a message out there. And within files, you can save all of the work that you want your children to do. So if I come in and I click on English, for instance, I can then upload the different files. I can upload the days, the weeks. If I click into day 3, here are all the activities that I want the pupils to do on this specific day. So I've got my flip chart that they can use. I've got the activity, and I've also uploaded a video. So if I click on this, I've uploaded a video directly of me talking and teaching through each step. Now you do have to film this on your own device and then upload it, but the children can get into this, they can hear you talking and teaching, and they can then go ahead and do the work. They can then, once they've watched that, go back into this, they can do the activities, and they are all set up and ready to go. Now, this site is great for multiple reasons. If your children are at home, for instance, due to illness, or they're off for a prolonged period of time, they can still access all the work for home learning. If they're in class, for things like the videos, you will need to make sure that they have like headsets or headphones, because otherwise it's just going to be a cacophony of noise in your classroom. But as a tool and as a method for providing different work, it's fantastic. Another option is to use iPads and devices for quizzes and for assessment. Now, quizzes are great. They're great for a couple of reasons. First of all, you get instant feedback from the children because they're doing it right there and then. They're also a little bit more fun and engaging because the children are entering different answers at different times. You can, depending on the format that you use, you can get written responses, you could get picture responses, you could get voice note responses, or multiple choice. And everything is saved in a central spot. Now, if I show you an example using Microsoft Forms, which is again another Microsoft program, but you can also use Kahoot, quizzes, there are many different options available. So once you've gone into Microsoft 365, if you click on the dots at the top here, it takes you down to all of the options. And if you click on Forms, it takes you onto a page that looks very similar to this. Now, in Forms, you can do lots of different things. If I click on Forms itself, you can go in, you can do feedback and surveys, registration, quizzes and assessments, all sorts of different things. Now, if I come on down just to here, this is a quiz that I set up the United Kingdom and Ireland for International Day. As you go down, you can type in your name, you can get the children to put their year groups in. This is all multiple choice, of course, and you can do the quiz. Now, once you've done this quiz, if you click on Present at the top, you've got QR codes you can scan, or the children can do it straight away. And then once they go in, they can just make a start. They can do it straight away. So you could pop this on your board as an end of unit assessment. All the children can scan the QR code on their device. They can put their answers in. Multiple choice, like I say, you can use the other options that they have to type an answer in. And within 10, 15 minutes, depending on how many questions you put up, you can have all of your results for that quiz. All of it is stored on Microsoft, so you can download an Excel sheet that can go in your files, and you have instantly got your assessment data. This can also be used at the beginning of maths lessons or English lessons for starter activities. You can do it at the end of a lesson to ensure that the children have understood. There are so many possibilities for using this. And like I say, this is just one option. You've also got Kahoot and various other things as well, but they all work in a very similar way. It's paper-free, it's easy to use, and the children will get on with it really quickly. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, and it doesn't really save paper, but it is a really good way of recording down children's responses or work without having to print lots of worksheets off for support, is talking pens. Now, talking pens allow children to scan a small sticker and to talk into a small device that records all of their answers. For those children, especially who are EAL, that find it much easier to verbally contribute and verbally give over their answers rather than writing it down, it's a really good option. And like I say, it saves lots of paperwork through scaffolded sheets and excess support. So the talking pens are usually quite good. They do come at a price, but if it's an investment for your school, I would recommend it. Okay, everybody, there you go. That is today's video wrapped up. How to reduce the amount of paperwork that you're doing, how to engage your children in different ways using devices and iPads, things on the board. They are really useful. And once you get in the habit of it, once the children understand what they're meant to be doing, it really can enhance your learning experience and ultimately provide challenge and support for all in your class, especially if you use things like Microsoft Teams and Seesaw. Right, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys found it useful and enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, go down and check the links in the bio for things like my guide and my other social accounts, and I will see you next time. Peace out, guys.